Hey everyone, it's Zeke, and in this video I'm going to talk about my 30-day experience with helium mining. The things that I'll be talking about in this video is how much I paid for everything, how much I'm making, how long it will take me to make my money back, and then I'll be going over the current helium mining situation to help you figure out whether or not you should get into it as well, and then I'll be comparing this type of mining against GPU and ASIC mining. So let's get right into it. Alright, so here is my miner. There is quite a lot of other miners in my area, which does play a big part in how much you make, because if you're in the middle of nowhere and there's no other miners around you, then there's not much to make. But yeah, like some hexagons have like 11, 7, 5, and 6. But yeah, it's not too crowded. Like, I don't live in a city, I live in suburbs, so it's not terrible. There is 4 in my hexagon, and then like 5 in the couple ones next to me, so it's not, it's not that bad. But my transit scale is 0.6, which is not the best. The higher the transmit scale, the more rewards you get. Like if you had a score of 1, then you're making a lot of money, but if you have a score of like 0.6, it's not the best. Yeah, as you can see, my 30-day earnings is $284, which is pretty good, and this percentage is pretty high because I was making like I was using the stock antenna for my miner, and it was making like barely anything for like 2 weeks, so I decided to upgrade it to get an 8 dBi antenna and put it outside. So that definitely helped with my earnings, and I highly recommend getting a proper antenna for your miner because it significantly boosts your earnings. Yeah, so I earned 7.26 HNT, or Helium. This is the cryptocurrency that you get rewarded for mining on the Helium network. Today I had a little bit of issues with my miner. It was offline and unsynced for a bit, so I only earned like 0.048 HNT. As you can see, like my best day was almost like 0.37 HNT, and I was averaging around 0.2 to 0.3 helium a day, which is not great. Like some people can earn like 0.5 to 1 HNT per day, but a lot of people are earning like less than 0.2 HNT a day, like if you're in really crowded areas. Even in my hexagon, people are earning like a lot less than me, like half the amount. It just depends on your setup, which I'll be going over my setup later in the video, but for the most part it's between 0.2 and 0.3 HNT a day, which is around like $10, $11, I'm not really sure, something like that. It's definitely better than graphics card mining, although you can't really scale up this as much as GPU mining. Like you can have one helium miner in your house, but with GPUs you can put like 50 of them in one room, and that's, yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's how much I'm making a month, and here's my setup. So I got the Bobcat Miner 300. It cost me 1400 USD, which, yes, I paid scalping price for it. I think this is over double the price that it would normally be, I'm pretty sure. It's not the best, but it is what it is. The Bobcat miners are really delayed right now. Like it can probably take up to a year to get one now. Like it's pretty bad. Apparently they just took in way more orders than they could take because they just wanted to make the money. I know they're building like factories to make all these, but it's like the people ordering now, they're not going to get it for like a year. That's how bad it is. I got an 8 dBi antenna. It's made of fiberglass. It's pretty good actually. It's around like 30 feet in the air now, or around 10 meters, and it's outdoors. But since it's up so high, like I had to get a pretty long cable. It's 60 feet long, which was just enough for me. I couldn't really have gone less than that, but it was a pretty expensive cable. I got it from Rockland. They have really good stuff, and I also live in like a really cold area. It gets to around like -40 degrees, so I needed something really good. The dB gain loss, like the cable loss you get from this long of a cable, it's pretty bad. Like I recommend getting a shorter cable, because the shorter the cable is, the less like signal loss you lose. So basically my antenna's up really high, but since the cable is so long, there's a little bit of signal loss through that cable. That means that the signal isn't going as far as it could be, which does result in a little bit of earnings loss. But I need this cable that long, otherwise I have to change my whole setup. So yeah, I could be making a bit more, but it's all right. And then I had to get a Ethernet cable because I just wanted a good connection. In total, it cost just under 1700 for everything, and I'm making 285.59 a month. So if you do the math, it's around 6 months. So I've made 1 month of that, so I have 5 months left of this. Now, this isn't certain because as more people join the network, like the past 30 days has been almost 80,000 people joining the network, which is quite a lot. Like back in April, there was a lot less people, and people were making like 1 to 2 helium a day. Like that's how crazy it was. 1 to 2 helium a day from this, and they're making their money back in like a week. Like that's how profitable it was, and they're buying this stuff at retail price. But the whole situation has changed. Like just so many people getting into it, so many people finding out about this, like, oh, they want to make money from this, so they're buying all these helium. Scalpers are making their money. But yeah, now it's similar to GPU mining. As more GPUs are, or as more crypto miners are on the network, the same amount gets put out, but since there's more of them, each miner gets a smaller percentage, and that really drives down profitability. Now, this is true, and we are making less. The only thing that you want to consider though is that, like, this was 1400 and it's making like, I don't know, say it's making $10 a day. That's probably better than what like a 3080 or 3090 is making. Probably not 3090, but 3080. That's better than what a 3080 is making for a lot cheaper. So if you're only gonna buy like one 3080, might as well buy a Helium miner, because like you're getting basically more for less price. Although you can't scale these up, like you can't buy like 30 of these Helium miners and put them in your house, because just the closer together, well, like I said earlier, like the more miners in your hexagon, the less of the reward we get, because each hexagon gets like a certain reward for their coverage, but if there's like more of them, then each miner gets less of it. So that's what I was saying earlier. If there's like one person in this hexagon, one person in that hexagon, then like they get the whole reward themselves. Like their transmit skill would be 1, but since there's 5 of these guys, all their transmit skills are 0.6, so that's not the best. Another thing is that these Helium miners, like once you set it up, you just have to put the Ethernet cable into your miner. You have to set up the antenna. Once that's set up though, these things aren't hot at all. They don't take much electricity. They take barely any internet connection. Like they take nothing really. Whereas GPU miners and especially ASIC miners, they generate a lot of heat. They're pretty loud. They take a lot of electricity, and they just take more to run themselves. So if you want something to pays you in crypto, definitely go with Helium miners, because like they're a lot easier to handle in your house, especially in your house, compared to other types of mining. So yeah, it's really up to you. Like I run both. I don't run ASICs. I run GPUs and Helium miners, and they're a good source of income, I guess. But I got into everything pretty late. Like I got into Helium mining and GPU mining like as of 2 months ago, and yeah, I'm not like I'm paying scalper prices. Like I'm overpaying for things. It's gonna take me a year to make back my money on the GPUs I spent, on the GPUs I got, and the Helium miner I bought. So yeah, that's just the current situation. It sucks, I know. But yeah, I'd say if you can find a Bobcat miner for a good price, definitely go and get one and set up an antenna for this, because I think that the Helium network is going to just keep growing. The prices of it is going to rise, even though you get paid less of it as more people join the network. If the price goes up, that smaller percentage is worth more, just like how Ethereum mining, Bitcoin mining works. So yeah, if you don't want to go for GPUs, because it's harder to run them, like they take electricity, they generate heat. These things are really simple. You just need one of them as well. Definitely get one, because it's really worth it, I'd say. Like 6 months, that's really good compared to GPU miners. GPU miners, you're looking at 10 to 11 months, maybe even over a year. But this 6 months is not bad at all. That's at least what I got. If you can get a Bobcat miner for like $1,000 instead of $1,400, you're gonna ROI a lot faster. Those are my thoughts. I'd say yes, if you can get something for a good price, go for it. And it's definitely a better option than GPU mining. So yeah, those are just my thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Remember to smash the like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and yeah, thank you.